Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hello everyone, good morning. So my name, you can see my name there. I'm Dr. Pallavi Mahajan, your host and host for the scientific sessions in DRDCA 2020. For those who are joining us for the first time, the DRDCA 2020 International is a one-month long dental conference wherein we have 40 plus speakers on board with us, joining us from all over the world and speaking about their topics of their expertise, their topics of, the topics they're passionate about basically. So talking about passion and talking about dreams, I would say, um, I also have a passion side bachelor of dentistry. I'm a poet basically. I write in Hindustani language and I speak as a spoken word. So let me share some lines with you. It's about dreams. ये ना ही उम्र देखेंगे, न रुतबा ही ये सोचेंगे, न इनका जिक्र जब होगा, तेरे लबीब पुराएंगे। इन्हें तो पास ही रखना, इन्हें तो साथ ही रखना, इन्हें तो पास ही रखना, इन्हें तो साथ ही रखना, कि जब भी छत पे बैठेगा, यही चलना सिखाएंगे। So for those who are not aware of Hindi language, what I just said was is all about dreams. Uh, Dreams don't see your age, dreams don't see what profession you are in, dreams don't say what level, what society you are in. They just exist. And they just exist to keep you going in the direction that we want to. Whenever we think of our dreams or something that we want to do in our life, it brings a smile on our face, right? So that's what dream is about. And it's very important to dream. It's very important to have those dreams in life. This quote was very important to share today. The reason is very Children's Day. And I strongly believe that each one of us have a child, we all have a child within us. The kids is going, the child dreams, and then we just reach out to that dream and then we kind of attain something. And the speakers that we have today, especially the morning session speakers that we have today, are, I think, nothing less than dreamers. They're actually dreamers. They're people who wanted to create something, people who wanted to do something new. That are those people. So, okay, enough of my introduction and my story. Let me tell you something about the we have. The first speaker that we have is Dr. Wild Said Sabit, who is joining us from Israel. He's a big name in India. As in, I know of the innovations that he has done in India. So, Dr. Weil is a dentist from Egypt, and by the way, in Egypt, the time is 7. So, first of all, a very, humble thanks to Dr. Sadiq for joining us. He's a silver member of CIDI training project. He is an endodontic course director at Dental Gallery Training Institute. The interesting part is, and when I say he's a dreamer, he developed an affordable magnification device, Camscope. He also developed a negative irrigation texture device, safely. So definitely, when you develop something, you have to have passion for developing all those things. Because many things are available in market, but when you develop it, it shows how involved you are in the subject and the science of it and everything. Dr. Sadiq also has a YouTube channel, which I just yesterday I was going through it. So it is indeed an honor for us to have Dr. Weil. He will be speaking about continuous irrigation during instrumentation. Like being an Indo, and I think most of us, we would have seen this, that whenever we clean a root canal system, when the file, rotary file comes out, it's covered with debris. And when we take a plug of cotton, we clean it. What if I tell you there is a system in which while doing instrumentation, the file will clean itself. The file will come out all clean. That interests, right? That is interesting. So Dr. Weil, Syed Sadiq is going to this continuous irrigation uh, concept during instrumentation. So without any much delay, I call upon Dr. Sadiq to be with us and to share his work assistance. Dr. Sadiq, screen is yours.
Thank you,
Good
Dr.
morning.
Balevi.
Morning, sir.
Thank you for the nice introduction.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to be with you today. Talk about my technique of shaping the continuous irrigation during instrumentation and sorry. And negative pressure irrigation. Let's see let's review some terms like irrigation delivery and irrigation activation. The irrigation delivery is the way the irrigant reach the canal system, and the irrigation activation is the movement of the irrigant inside the root canal system. So we have to know the difference between the two terms, because we have to know when we do delivery and when we do activation. The pushing of your syringe of your needle inside the root canal system, this is delivery. You just transport the irrigant from the syringe to the root canal system. The movement of the irrigant is the activation. So you have to know that there is a difference between the two terms, and you need activation, and you don't mix the delivery with the activation. So I will talk about the delivery system, how you deliver the irrigant inside the root canal system with the famous two ways. I think the famous way is the positive pressure irrigation, which it's the simplest way and the most popular way any dentist use. It's about the syringe and the side vented needle, a syringe loaded with your irrigant and a side vented needle. You insert it in the canal and push the needle to, as I said, deliver the irrigation into the root canal system. Mainly, we will talk about the negative pressure irrigation, which the difference. This is the positive pressure irrigation, as we know, a syringe, a needle, a side vented needle. Of course, that's what I want to stress about. That open-end needle is not the way you deliver positive pressure irrigation. Side vented needle, it's what all the researchers about the positive pressure irrigation, any research about how far your needle must be from the apex, how much pressure you have to apply, when to have accident, or when to have irrigant beyond the apex, or when you're not. All this research is based on the side vented needle. So you need to use side vented needle when you use positive pressure irrigation. I have to stress on this. So the positive pressure, as I said, is simple: negative needle, syringe, and an irrigant inside the syringe. The positive pressure on the contrary of the negative pressure, on the contrary of the positive pressure, it's using suction. It pulls the irrigant from the canal, inside the canal, via suction. It's simple. What you need to do negative pressure irrigation is to insert a needle to full working length, but this needle is connected to a high volume suction device, and then you just put the irrigation inside the pulp chamber. The needle the suction will pulls down the irrigant to the apex and outside via the high volume suction system. That's simply what is negative pressure is to insert the needle to full working length, but this needle is not connected with a syringe like positive pressure. No, it's connected to a high volume suction device. You just pour the irrigant into the pulp chamber with no force. Just put the irrigant into the pulp chamber, and then the needle will pull down the irrigant to the apex, exactly to apex, and then to outside via high volume suction with constant flow of suction, which is safe and very efficient, as we will discuss in this lecture. That simply is what negative pressure. Also, I developed Safe Clean. I'm using negative pressure and continuous irrigation during instrumentation since about, I think, almost 10 years now. I developed this technique of shaping, continuous irrigation during instrumentation, and of course the well-known negative pressure irrigation. I use it after my third sodium hypochlorite accident. My third one. It's a very bad experience to anyone who had a sodium hypochlorite accident with his patient. But after my third sodium hypochlorite, because I was very passionate about cleaning, I was very young. My third years after graduation, yes, my third year, I have the third sodium hypochlorite accident. So I decided from this moment that I will use negative pressure irrigation as it's more safe. By the years, I developed a device called Safe Clean. To do both techniques. During shaping, you will use this device after the access cavity, during shaping, and during your final irrigation protocol. Let's see. Sorry. This is a simple drawing of the component of the Safe Clean. It's called the main connector and two suction tubes, the universal handpiece, the delivery tip, and two macro suction tip and micro suction tip. We'll go through an assembly. We'll go through an assembly video, simple assembly video. The component of the device is, let's see, the two suction tubes, two master delivery heads, the main connector, and the universal handpiece. This is the main connector. You just connect it to your high volume suction device. This tip of this connector of the high volume suction, if your surgical suction fits into this, then the safe connector, the main connector of Safe Clean will fit. Now, two suction tubes, it's 1 meter long, and they are the same. The two are the same size and same length. You go with the suction tube inside one of the holes at the top of the main connector. This hole is for the tube, and the other hole is just a holder for the universal handpiece. This universal handpiece, you will use it during shaping. Connect it to the other side of the suction tube, and just put it in the holder or in the main connector. Then the other suction tube to another hole at the side, the main connector here, and to the one of the delivery tips here, and the other end of the delivery tip will be for the syringe, with a syringe full of irrigant. I recommend to use a Lurlock syringe to be more safe during application of the irrigant, and then in its holder in the main connector. That's how the device will will show on your dental chair. Now we have two types of tips: the macro tips for macro debris, and the micro tip for the negative pressure irrigation. The macro tip goes to the universal handpiece like this, and it's when you pull out your high volume suction, it will work and it will do suction. And the micro tip, it goes directly to the suction tube, and it's also do suction. As you see. Now let's see the master delivery tip, this one. Look, I want to explain something. Look, the needle here, the metal needle here. I don't think I need a laser pointer, so you can see what I mean. Laser pointer, yeah. The needle tip, the needle here, the metal needle is connected to the syringe. So the irrigant goes from here through the needle into the access cavity. The cap around the needle, this tube around the needle, is connected to high volume suction to do suction so the excess irrigant comes out from the access cavity. What the main concept of the technique continuous irrigation during instrumentation is to point the metal needle to one side of your access cavity. So of course, you have to have a class 1 access cavity. That's not for the technique. That's what you do have to do in any access cavity. You have to one of the main aims of access cavity is to contain irrigant. So any access cavity you do, you have to build up, if you have missing wall with any means, to have a class 1 access cavity to contain your irrigant. So you have to point the needle to one side, one wall, not to the pulpal floor like you do with positive pressure, or to insert it inside the orifice. No, you have just to direct the needle to one wall, to one side, any wall you want, but just to have to, the needle have to direct it to one wall. Then you push the irrigant. What happened is the irrigant hit the wall and then hit another wall and do a vortex, like a vortex inside the access cavity. This vortex have what's called a hydrodynamic force, like what we said here in the video. Let me change this to arrow. Look what we see. I direct the needle to one side of this plastic tube. Look how the vortex show. This what I mean with vortex. The excess irrigant is getting sucked by the cap around the needle, so you don't have any spilling out of the irrigant. And look how the vortex is working. I push the needle, the irrigant do the vortex, and the excess is coming out from the cap. The cap is suck the excess. Let's see this on a clinical case. That's what I mean. Look, the irrigant is in the syringe here, and the flow is coming out from the needle, the metal needle. Then you direct the needle to one side of the cavity. It will do the vortex. What I talk about, the vortex that has a hydrodynamic force, and then the excess irrigant will always be sucked by the cap to high volume suction. This is a macro tip. As we know, we will evacuate the macro debris from with it. This, as I said, this one of the components is called universal handpiece, and also the suction tube. What universal means that it's accept any tip. What I recommend is and what I love is the elastic capillary tip, the blue tip from Cercamed, because it's very thin and elastic, and also sterilizable if you want to use it again. And if you prepare your canal to 3004, with 30 taper 4, it will reach about 2 to 3 millimeters less shorter than your working length. That's why I love it, because my minimum apical preparation is 3004, and we will talk about your minimum apical preparation. But my minimum apical preparation is 3004. That's why I love these tips, because it reaches up to 2 to 3 millimeters shorter of my working length, and it's very affordable. This is the macro tip, the micro tip. I love this design, the blue design, rather than this. It has many benefits. I think a lot of companies do this design. Even if you, of course, it's side vented. Even if you do a positive pressure, I recommend the blue needle, or this design, whatever the company is, because one thing is very important, is that the bend of the needle in the blue design here, the blue needle, the bend here, sorry, the bend here is in the plastic. If you bend, look at this design, the bend is in the metal. This needle should be about 30 G, the gauge 30, its gauge. The gauge 30 is resemble to ISO between 27 and 30. It's like a file 27 or file 30. So it's very thin. So this tip is like the tip of the file 30 or 27, taper 0, of course, it's all the same taper. So when you bend the metal, it narrows it's very thin. It narrows the metal part. So it's very hard to do positive pressure, and it's even harder to do negative pressure. But look at the design at the needle, at the blue needle. You will see that the tip, the bend is in the plastic. That the bend is in a plastic tube, and it's very wide plastic tube, so it will not affect your current, even through positive or negative pressure. So I love that's why I love this design. That's how the device will look on your high volume suction. Now let's see what I mean with continuous irrigation. What all we do is to insert the file into the canal. Okay, when you insert any file into the canal during shaping, you expect two actions. You expect one of two events to happen, even engagement or resistance. Engagement means the file will cut through the dentine and reaches the forward the working length, or will be no resistance. But what amount of pressure I need to apply on my file to assess this, if I have engagement or not, or resistance? What Ruddle said, what Dr. Cliff Ruddle said, and what I love about this pressure is a pencil grip pressure. Pencil grip pressure means when you write the pressure you apply on a pen when you are writing on a pencil, when you are writing without breaking the tip of the pens. That's the amount of pressure. That's very, very light pressure, not like how I see you push with your two hands on the file. Just a light pressure, like a pencil grip pressure, as I said. So when you apply this pressure, you will have two events, even engagement or resistance. Engagement means the cutting with this light pressure will do, and you would the file continue to penetrate inside the canal. But the resistance is that the file will stop, and you need more pressure to make the file go farther into the canal. In either ways, what happens is that you leave some irrigant inside the canal, as we all do, and then we do shaping like this. Look how much debris comes out. You pull the debris out from the canal, then when you're pushing the file again, it will go inside the canal. Look how much debris I have here. Debris is, for me, debris is my #1 enemy. My #1 concern during shaping is to evacuate debris. Debris is the root of all evils. As I said, it's what's called blockage, what's caused perforation, it's what causes a broken instrument, it's what causes ledges, because accumulation of pressure can cause all of this. I think it's the main reason for all of this. If debris accumulate inside the canal, you will push your file. You will may cause breakage. You will push your file. You will cause ledges. You will push your file, and it will may cause perforation. So if you have a mechanism to evacuate debris and to constantly have a patent canal, that will reduce your time during shaping. You reduce stress on your file. It will improve your it will improve the longevity of the file if you, as all we do, use the file more than one. Look now what I do to eliminate this debris immediately. As I said, look what happens here. I directed the tip of the metal needle to one wall of the access cavity and then push. What happened in the irrigant? Let me use the laser so I can. I directed my metal needle to one side of the cavity. Then I push the irrigant. The irrigant goes hit the wall. Then it hit another wall and hit another wall, doing a vortex. Of this vortex cause a hydrodynamic force. This hydrodynamic force, it will automatically clean the flutes of the file. About 70% of the debris coming out from shaping, from cutting, is on the flutes. If you dry the canal and you put the file and cut through the canal, take the file out, you will see debris on the flutes. This debris is about 70% of the debris of the debris coming out from the cutting. 30% is inside the canal. So you automatically remove about almost all the debris comes from the cutting process or from the shaping process. This hydrodynamic, and you just not remove it and put it inside the pulp chamber like in the ordinary way, as we said before, but you evacuate it outside through the high volume suction. Let's see it again. Look how you can see clearly the canal. You can see clearly the flutes of the file, how it's clean. No, see the difference when you cut. How every millimeter you go through the canal, the debris is accumulating more and more, and make it every next millimeter is harder. See how the debris immediately evacuated. Even I still cutting and still going through the canal, but every debris comes out, it's automatically and instantly cleaned by this technique. And another point, another very important point here, not just evacuation of debris and benefits that you have from instantly and immediately evacuation of the debris. Another value of this technique is the refreshment of sodium hypochlorite. When if you see here, what happens? Look how sodium is clear now. Before, at the first of the shaping, look how sodium is clear. Look how the sodium hypochlorite is very clear. The liquid is very clear, like water. After a while, not just also the debris, you will see here some bubbles and some white foam here. You know what is it? What this is? I need the laser pointer, so I also I always forget the laser pointer. Okay. Sorry. Then the laser pointer here. Look how this one. Look, this bubble and this white foam here. What this means? This means that the sodium hypochlorite is working. This means that sodium hypochlorite reacts with pulp tissue and necrotic tissue. That's what the white foam that we see. I see a lot on the Facebook, a picture of access cavity which contain sodium hypochlorite and have the white foam and the bubbles, and it's always titled sodium hypochlorite in action. And that's right. That's meaning that sodium hypochlorite is reacts with and dissolve organic tissues and necrotic tissues, but it also means that sodium hypochlorite is getting weakened by time, and its effect is getting weaker by time. Let's see this interesting experience. This one. Influence of refreshment. It's a very interesting experiment by Dr. Gary Bay. What we have here is a piece of organic tissue, and we soak it in sodium hypochlorite for 1 hour in fully concentrated sodium hypochlorite. That's very powerful. Look what happened. Sodium hypochlorite start to react with the organic tissue and dissolve it. With time, look what forms here. This is a byproduct. This is what's called sodium hypochlorite in action. This it's called a saponification reaction. Glycerin, ammonia. This is in some researches that it coats in this experiment. This byproduct coats the remnant of the organic piece, and it's inhibit the reaction. Now the same weight of organic piece, but with refreshment every 5 minutes. The same organic material and the same concentration of sodium hypochlorite, but with refreshment every 5 minutes. Look how the influence of refreshment on the dissolving power of sodium hypochlorite. I think almost half of the time it dissolved the whole organic material. That is the power of refreshment. That's how the bubble formation can coat the organic material and inhibit the further effect of sodium hypochlorite. Let's have another experiment with agitation. In this experiment, we will compare between refreshment and agitation. We have 20 grams of shrimp in 6% sodium hypochlorite, 75 millimeter of sodium hypochlorite, of 6% sodium hypochlorite, and we'll do an ultrasonic agitation. Ultrasonic agitation for, I think, 45 minutes, and see what the effect of this closed reaction. Look how the byproducts foam, the white foam, forms here for 45 minutes. What happened? It's 14 gram loss. 14. I think this is 14 gram loss of the shrimp, and 6 grams still present in 45 minutes. Now, amount of shrimp, 20 gram, of shrimp, 6% sodium hypochlorite. We will just refresh the sodium hypochlorite every 5 minutes. Just refreshment, no activation, just refreshment. You can see the influence of refreshment of sodium hypochlorite on the tissue dissolving ability. Before the time the 45 minutes ends, it was a complete dissolving of the organic matter. So when you do continuous irrigation during instrumentation, that's what happens. That's the influence you have. How faster and more efficient dissolution of your pulp tissue and necrotic tissue. That's in a real case. As you see, you can see the debris flying out from the canal into the high volume section. I love this case. I did this case about 2 years ago. You can see how the debris flying out from the canal into the high volume suction. That's what hydrodynamic force inside the axis cavity do. You can see I directed the metal needle, the metal tip, into a wall of the axis cavity. Also, that's a very interesting finding. Also, I can use it with activation. This is an a sonic activation tip called eddy tip, and you can see if I remove the continuous irrigation, how much is coming out from the canal, and it doesn't go anywhere. Still in the pulp chamber, I may push it again into the canal. But with continuous irrigation, I always have a fresh sodium hypochloride with full power of sodium hypochloride at all time, because it's fresh in tissue dissolution and in antibacterial effect. Look how clear is the fluid with continuous irrigation. So what is the technique? Let's review the technique. The technique is very simple. Let's see a case of the full technique of continuous irrigation during instrumentation. Do I have time? Still have time. This case of upper first premolar. We'll skip the axis cavity step. As I said, you have to have a class 1 axis cavity, not specially for this technique, but it's one of the axis cavity aims or goals, is to have a class 1 axis cavity. I build here. I love to build up my with the gingival barrier. I'm that lazy. I rarely build up with composite. Only if I have the margin, or I want to assess restoration of this tooth, I do build up with glass armor or composite. But if the tooth is restorable, and I do the build up with gingival barrier, it's faster and easier. Don't forget to clean the isthmus. And this after axis, I use the master delivery tip. The hydrodynamic force of the vortex also cleans the axis cavity from pulp tissue and from debris, and make it clean and clear to see your orifices. I use it for 30 seconds after I finish my axis. Just the tip, the master delivery tip. Then this is the orifice opener. Just orifice opener, I use it after axis cavity to just clear the orifices of. Look how much debris without sodium without the continuous irrigation. After I clear my orifices, I do working length determination with my apex locator. Then glide path. Usually for 10K files. Then 15K file to super loose. Full working length, I do shaping to until the file becomes super loose into the canal. At least 15K files. I finish with 15K file. After glide path, I start shaping with 2004 instrument. Now, I directed, as I said, I direct the metal tip to one wall, put it on the edge of the cavity. To put all the master head into the cavity. No, just direct the metal needle. I put the metal needle at the edge of the axis cavity, so I can see. I don't block my vision, and then direct it to one wall. Then start pushing the irrigant. Now, what you do is, during shaping, you go downward movement to engage some dentine. Just one move, engage 2 to 3 millimeter dentine. Then you go outside, 2 free movement. One movement engagement, 2 free, 2 upward movement. You need to do the upward movement and to expose as much as possible from the fire flutes to the hydrodynamic force in the axis. Don't go out from the orifice, so you don't lose your orientation, but you go for 2 to 3 millimeter engagement of dentine. Then you come out to expose the flutes that has the debris to the hydrodynamic force in the vortex inside the axis cavity, so it's cleaned and cleaned from the debris, and go inside again. You need just to expose it 2 times. 1, 2 without engagement. This two movement, outward and inward, without engagement, just a free movement. Go out, up, without going out from orifice. Just to expose the flutes containing debris to the hydrodynamic force to get clean, and then you go in again, engagement 2 to 3 millimeter, exposing with free movement to the hydrodynamic force to clean. Go another round until you reach your full working length. It's nearly rare, very rare to have a resistant, to have because resistance come from accumulation of debris, and this technique is automatically and instantly clean debris. So you will have any debris inside the canal, and you will never need to stop in the middle of your working length or to have any resistance. As I said, 1 engagement, 2 free movement, 1 engagement, 2 free movement. And you can see the axis cavity is very clean. You can see any debris. You can see clearly the orifice. You can see, and when you pull out the file, it will be clean. No debris on the file. After this, after you reach working length, don't forget to recapitulation, patency, push the file half a millimeter or more beyond apex to ensure patency. 10K file. As you can see. Then after this, you push the macro tip. The macro tip is wide enough to suck any remaining small debris inside the canal. So to prepare the canal to be nearly empty or nearly patent from any debris, free of any debris for the next file. So the shaping technique is 1 engagement, 2 free movement until working length, then recapitulation and patency with 10K file, and then using macro tip. With, of course, all of this is happening while the master head is giving sodium chloride. That's why up and down movement for about 10 seconds with the macro tip. That's why I use the hand, the universal hand piece. Then you move to the next file. The next file will entering an empty canal. Now, after the last file, this here, as I said, 3004. After the last file, you have to do 4 steps: recapitulation and patency, 30 seconds of up and down movement of macro tip, activation, another 30 seconds of macro tip activation. These 4 steps ensure after the last file that you will have a patent debris-free canal. Let's review this. Okay, after the last file, recapitulation and patency with 10K file, as we said. Macro tip activation. This step do suction. Macro tip activation for 30 seconds. Activation, any type of activation. I prefer sonic activation, but if you have ultrasonic, manual dynamic agitation, rotation activation, what type of activation you want, you can do. Then another 30 seconds of macro tip activation. It's very important. It's very important to have these 4 steps after the last file. Recapitulation patency, macro tip activation 30 seconds, sonic or ultrasonic, whatever activation you have for 30 seconds, another 30 seconds of macro tip activation. That's what we will have a patent canal. What is the benefits of a patent canal? Obtain a patent canal. Patent canal means a canal it's empty. Let's give an example of a lecture room full of chairs, tables, and I need to clean the floor of this lecture room. What will be more efficient and more easy is to clean the room while the chairs and tables inside the room, or to get out the chairs and the table outside the room and clean the floor. That's what happened to your irrigation protocol. If you still have debris inside the canal, the amount of debris you have will affect your efficiency of activation, of your activation and your final irrigation protocol. So it's very important to have a canal-free, a debris-free canal, a debris-free canal. That's the easiest canal you can disinfect. I don't say that you have now a disinfection, a clean canal. No, you have an empty canal. An empty canal is the easiest canal you can clean. We will review the 4 steps: recapitulation, patency, macro activation for 30 seconds, sonic or ultrasonic or whatever activation you need for 30 seconds, and then another macro activation for 30 seconds. That's what we see. Then, in brief, because I still have 10 minutes again, 10 minutes. You can do now the negative pressure irrigation. What is negative pressure irrigation? Just put the macro tip, the micro tip into the suction tube. Use the master delivery tip. Just fill the access cavity with irrigant, and the micro tip will suck the irrigant to the full working length, directly to the apex, not 1 millimeter beyond apex and not 1 millimeter shorter than apex. You can see that when we zoom out, this is the suction tube, and this is the continuous irrigation of irrigant. I use a blue dye so you can see how the constant flow of fresh sodium hypochlorite, full power sodium hypochlorite, right to the apex. This is very huge because the negative pressure irrigation is the only way that I can be sure, I can be 100% sure that my irrigant reaches to apex, not 1 millimeter beyond or 1 millimeter shorter than apex. I can't do that with with positive pressure, even with all the criteria, the side vented needle, the correct insertion of the needle, the correct power of positive pressure. All these criteria, I can't clearly say that my irrigant reaches apex not beyond and not shorter, as I can be sure in negative pressure irrigation. That's why I love this technique, and it's very safe. Of course, you will never have a sodium hypochlorite accent. And this another fun fact about negative pressure irrigation is what happens if you have an open apex. That's of course the recommended technique in open apex. What happened if my needle, if this needle that is connected to high volume suction is going beyond apex? If I push the needle, if I have a wide apex or an open apex, and I push the needle beyond the apex, it will clog. The needle will clog, will suck the periodontal ligament and clog. Because I'm professional in this technique, I'm using for 10 years now. One of my tricks to ensure the working length, to review my working length, I fill the access cavity with irrigant, then I push my micro tip. The suction is going well, and the irrigant in the access cavity is getting reduced as it's sucked by the macro tip. Then I insert the macro tip more further. The suction is still coming out, it's still working. The suction is still working. Then I push it again. The suction stops. When the suction stops, I get back 1 millimeter. The suction is coming out and works. That's mean I am in apex. And when the suction stops, that's mean I am out of the apex. That's how I can confirm my working length. That's how the technique is safe. It's very safe. Even the urinary suction needle is coming out from the apex. That's the beauty about this technique. I think I'm finished now. Sorry. No, I think I'm finished now. The continuous irrigation during instrumentation. I hope you enjoy this, and I'm ready for your.
Well, sir, that was I was totally engrossed in the whole procedure. It was such a nice, well explained concept. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful presentation. And I so agree. Being an endo, also we talk so much about negative pressure. We read so much about it, but to implement it, I think I don't have. I have not done any case till now. With that much effort and all those things. To be honest, so thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, there are not many questions, sir, because I thought you have already explained a lot of things. But there are few questions from my side that I would like to ask you as an endo.
Of course,
Um,
of course.
yes, so as you have mentioned, do you prepare this tip and the whole system individually for every patient, considering nowadays like their uh, especially in COVID times when we are going for everything, and everything that we keep in mind. Do you prepare it like it is customized for every patient? Like you prepare the whole set for every patient, or is this just one that you keep on using?
Um, um, the suction tubes for the system, the safe clean system.
Yes, sir.
You want
Yes. Yes.
the suction. The whole system is suction. There is nothing goes inside the actual body of the patient.
Right.
The suction tube and the main connector. It's like an extension of your high volume suction. So they
Right.
don't need any cleaning. The master delivery head is sterilizable. The master
Okay.
head that do is sterilizable. The universal handpiece, the white stick, the universal handpiece
Right.
is sterilizable,
Okay.
and the tip is disposable.
Right. 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 Right.
I don't want to talk about the device for much time, so I
Mm.
can explain the technique. But and it will be available. It will be available in India very soon.
Okay. I'm actually
Um,
looking forward to it. I would love to do cases with this, and
the
to start.
continuous irrigation, you will feel, and you will immediately feel the difference, that the file it's going very easy inside the canal. You will
Right.
have less breakage, less resistant, and your shaping time. Well, I don't consider shaping time. What my
Right.
consideration, I spend my time in access cavity to find all the canals, and
Mm.
in final
Irrigation.
irrigation protocol.
Right.
The least time I spend is in shaping and obturation. That's the
Right.
least time I spent.
Okay. And so, any particular protocol to clean the as such the system or something like any other solvent that you use other than hypochlorite?
um, uh, I use solutions. What solutions I used in cleaning the canal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what you mean.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What beauty about negative pressure, that it's my final irrigation protocol. It's actually my break. It's
Okay.
a rest from the case. Yeah, I insert the needle. I insert the microtip needle as you see in the video, and the
Okay.
assistant is pushing the irrigant inside the canal, and then I fix the suction tube at the rubber dam, and then
Right.
I remove my gloves and go and have some tea.
That's
My assistant continuously irrigate. I leave the canal for about continuous sodium hypochlorite irrigation for about 2 minutes. When I finish my phone
wow.
call, 5 minutes.
Right.
It's very safe and very easy, and it's continuous. Especially in necrotic cases, I may leave the needle in the canal for up to 10 minutes.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
I can't stress enough of how much important is the final irrigation protocol. With negative pressure, it's stress free.
Mm.
It's continuous irrigation to the apex. You cannot go beyond apex, and you don't have to do it by yourself. I just
Right.
insert the needle, fix it in the rubber dam, stabilize it on the rubber dam. It's very easy to stabilize it, and let the assistant to go do the irrigation for as much as you want. I do sodium, edita, sodium.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I think 80% of my work is single visit, because
Right.
if you have a protocol that is scientifically based and you have experience with your protocol, that you have a successful experience with this with your protocol, I advise to do single visits. Business wise, it's very good, so you don't have to book another appointment for the
True.
same patient. And scientifically, a single visit is much better than multiple visits in all
Right.
in different ways. So that's why makes me sure and confident about I will well, however the condition of the tooth. Two reasons that prevent me from doing a single visit. Two reasons: I have a weeping canal, I can't get a dry canal, and the patient is getting tired, because I may have a lot of time in access cavity, in searching for extra canals, in shaping a blocked or bypassing a file. If the patient getting tired, and I instruct my patient, if he's because the rubber dam and everything, he can talk. So with a hand section, hand signature, if he want to terminate the session. That's the only two reasons why I don't do single visits. If I have a wet canal, I can't get dry, and if the patient get tired. Other than that, I do single visits.
Okay, sir. So last question. What any special precautions that we need to take in open apex cases?
In open apex,
Right.
that's what I'm talking about. The negative pressure technique is the technique of choice in open apex, because
Open apex.
you can't control the positive pressure. And another advice, if for the positive pressure, another something about negative pressure, positive pressure I can't comprehend. It's the pressure itself. How much pressure? And if I have the constant pressure, do I can produce the with my muscles the constant pressure all the time, or during the shaping? It's very hard. I as I said in my lecture, I moved to negative pressure after my third sodium hypochlorite accident. And it's do you have a sodium hypochlorite accident
No,
before?
till now I haven't. No, sir.
It's a very bad experience, very bad experience. And no one practicing endodontics, and you will have a
Yes.
supraglottic accident. That's a very bad experience. So after negative pressure irrigation, really, I do what's called stress-free endodontics with the rubber dam. After I'm using rubber dam and then negative pressure irrigation, really it's very safe to know that your irrigation is efficient, it's reaching apex, and it's very safe.
Right.
So that's I don't there's no precaution in negative pressure irrigation.
Yes,
Just
sir.
adjust the because if even if you go beyond the apex with the needle, it will not suck. The suction will stop.
Right. Right. Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed an eye opener for many of us, I guess. And what beautiful, because many people think, who are, especially if you are, not an endodontist, even being an endodontist, there are many people who think that root canal is just a matter of uh, by chance you can get good obturations, by chance you will do this, by chance you will do that, more of fluke than science. But yes, this makes everything, your presentation has made everything so clear that if you do a proper irrigation, especially negative pressure irrigation, there are no chances that you can go wrong or have a
Yeah,
heart.
I can't stress enough that I do endodontics in 5 steps. It's access, cleaning and shaping. Final irrigation protocol is a step, is a separate step, and obturation, final filling. That's the final. One of the most three was of the most three steps that affect the endodontic success, that really affects the endodontic success, is to find all the canal, your final irrigation protocol, and your coronal seal. That's what the most three important things. I see a lot, and I have a lot of cases that it looks a good obturation. One of the cases, it has a huge lesion, and the obturation looks very good, When I open the tooth, the guttapercha is reaching to full working length, but it has like a petroleum-like black bacteria around it, because
Right.
what this dentist has is he finishes shaping and do obturation. He skipped the final irrigation protocol. So not every good-looking obturation means it's good cleaning.
True.
Cleaning is I have a lot of cases that especially when I start using the warm vertical compaction, I usually pull out the cone during cutting, and I have short obturation, but I have the lesion healed.
Right.
I have no problem with short obturations during my learning curve in the warm vertical compaction, because I do good cleaning.
Right.
So I can't stress enough about that the final irrigation protocol is a separate step. You have, and it has a separate time in your endodontic procedure.
I agree, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for the words of wisdom, and I'm so looking forward to having this system in India and just working with it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you. Have
Bali.
a
Thank
nice
you.
day. Have a nice day.
Thank you,
Happy
sir.
Diwali.
Happy to have.
Thank you, sir. So that was Dr. Wael Syed Sadiq with a very interesting, with an enlightenment session, I think it was for me, with so many pointers and so many things that I am taking back. For now, since we might not be able to practice negative pressure just beginning from today, but yes, the one thing that we can practice is giving enough time for irrigation. So final irrigation is a step and not just a part of it. It's a proper step, like obturation is, like access opening is. So that is my takeaway from this session. And on that note, let me introduce the next speaker to you guys. The next speaker, as I said in the beginning about passion and following your passion, and as I said, I am also a passionate writer and a poet. So this the Dr. Ashutosh Singh is the next speaker that we have on board with us. He's a general dentist and dental photographer and a musician too. So that is the most interesting part. Dr. Ashutosh is a former lecturer of in is a former lecturer of SPPGDIMS Lucknow. He's a founder and musician of the band. I think it's a band only, Blue Brigade. He's a private practitioner practicing in Lucknow, following music and at the same time pursuing dentistry. Dr. Ashutosh followed his heart's calling for photography and biking. So the philanthropist in him made him pursue photography for many social causes as well, so he could play his part well in making a difference. He has performed throughout the country in various festivals and other circuits and collaborated with quite a few label bands in our. Now that is something he has had the honor of judging lots of competition also at various national and international sessions. Dr. Ashutosh is going to speak to us about dental photography. So I am super excited for this session, and without wasting much time, I guess Dr. Ashutosh might take little time to be here. So, okay, as soon as he's here, he'll join us. Meanwhile, let me tell you some pointers that you need to do sitting at your home. Yes, do light up diyas, do everything, but on side by side, what you need to do is download the Eventi app if you have not. If you are seeing this session on Facebook or YouTube, and you have not registered for the conference, kindly do so, because if you're not registering yourself for conference, you're missing out on a lot of things. You will get a certificate of participation only and only if you register yourself. Then you have a chance to win this laser, Novolace therapy laser. One lucky person will get the chance. The things that you need to do are the same. You have to register yourself on Eventi app. You have to download the Eventi app, register yourself for DRDCA 2020. Then you have to follow the FB page of DRDCA 2020. You have to be actively you have to participate in the scientific sessions that are happening. By active participation, I mean you need to you should comment, you should share it with your friends, you should tag your friends and take screenshots of the same while doing. Also send all the screenshots to the to our mail ID dentalreach2020 @gmail.com. So I might have gone wrong with the email ID, but you can get all the details on the FB page of DRDCA, as well as once you download the app, you'll get the details. Once again, download Eventi app and register yourself for DRDCA 2020 International. It's 14th of November. Half of the month is gone, half of the month is left, which leaves us with almost, I will say, 8 sessions still. So 6 to 8 sessions still. And we have amazing speakers lined up because, as I said, there are 40 plus speakers who have joined us. From all over the world, and they're speaking about different topics, including a topic that it'll be in the last session of this conference. There'll be a topic known as digital marketing. So that is the need of the hour. Again, many topics in the loop that we have. Tomorrow, the sessions, as I told you, as you must be aware, there are 3 sessions. There are Thursday session, weekday session, in which we have just one session, that is evening session. Saturday, Sundays, we have 2 sessions, morning and evening session. So today, this is the morning session. We have one session in the evening also, where Dr. Mata is joining us, and Dr. Mata is joining us, and she's speaking about endo irrigation. Also joining us will be Dr. Umair from Malaysia, and it's an endo irrigation special session. So be sure you are here at 4 o'clock also. Tomorrow is all about aesthetics. Dr. Rumpa Veg, Dr. Preeti Lamba, Dr. Chandra Molly, they are joining us on board. And do attend Dr. Rumpa's session because you will be getting some gifts. Dr. Rumpa, Diwali has started with this Diwali dhamaka, in which you will be the one who will answers few questions, and then yes, you can get a chance to win a prize. So that is Dr. Rumpa Wig, and her lecture starts tomorrow at 11 o'clock. She'll be speaking about active, alive, dynamic boon for routine clinical dentistry. We have Dr. Ashutosh Singh with us. Sir, am I audible to you? I think there's some network glitch or some problem. So we'll just wait for some time. Meanwhile, let me tell you, the people who have joined just now and were not there before this, Dr. Ashutosh, along with being a dentist, he's also a musician, he's also a photographer, and today he's going to speak about dental photography. I think there's some network glitch or technical glitch. Dr. Ashutosh, let me ask. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Rupert. I'm just trying. There's definitely some network issue.
No issues, sir.
Loads
No
of problems.
issues.
Yeah. Actually, it's Diwali, so I think the people are blowing the crackers on the network also. So just trying
Right,
to
right.
just trying to get through the network. Yeah. Just give me a moment.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Yes. So चलिए काम करते हैं जब तक सर अपनी काम सेट करते हैं अपना till the time he is adjusting everything and getting ready to take the lecture. Let me repeat something that I not even repeat. It's Diwali, right? So as I said, I'm a poet also. Is it done, sir?
I'm still looking for it. Still looking for it.
Okay.
Just give me.
For the viewers, as I said that I'm a poet also. I write in Hindustani language. So here is something that I wrote for Diwali. I thought I'll share in the end, but let me share it once now only. It is quite possible that you won't get time to meet your friends on this Diwali, because of the obvious reasons. तो हाँ शायद मिल नहीं पाओ यहाँ सब दोस्तों से तुम हाँ शायद मिल नहीं पाओ यहाँ सब दोस्तों से तुम जो घर पर साथ रहते हैं गले उनको लगा लेना हाँ शायद मिल नहीं पाओ यहाँ सब दोस्तों से तुम जो घर पर साथ रहते हैं गले उनको लगा लेना दिवाली में दिए रखना बहुत ही आम है लेकिन दिवाली में दिए रखना बहुत ही आम है लेकिन दिया उम्मीद वाला इस बरस दिल में जला लेना so
Wow.
okay thank you sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we can probably get back to it. So I'm
Okay sir.
sorry for I'm sorry for all the delay. I'm sorry for all the technical
No,
glitches.
not an issue sir. I think I should thank you because I got this time to save my 4 lines, otherwise people would
Whoa.
have not understood.
No, that's absolutely great that we got it from you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm slightly not keeping well since a couple of days. I've been flu catching up on my throat and my nose and stuff.
Right sir.
So please excuse me, guys, for these technical glitches. My health not keeping well, but thank you, you guys, for inviting me on this platform. And it's such an honor to share this kind of a platform with all these dignitaries, all these speakers from worldwide. It's really an honor. Thank you so very much. And
Thank
wish all of you guys a very, very happy Diwali. Have a cracking one. Have a cracking one, all of you guys.
thank you sir.
Okay.
Yes sir, we can start the present. You can start
Okay.
the presentation sir.
Okay. Give me a second. Screen. Some more technical problems, I think.
So the bottom third button, share your screen, then you
Yes,
should click on that preview.
that's there. Rock actually the problem is again like some like network issues. I'm trying to just okay, have it here, have it here. Can you guys
Yes,
see me
I
now?
got it. Yeah, I
You
got
got
it.
it? Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay. Okay, thank you, Rock. Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you guys from all over the continent, from all over the world. Thank you, CIDI, for inviting me over here on such a lovely platform to speak on dental photography with such illuminated dignitaries. Thank you so very much. It's an honor. So, first, a very good morning and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to the respective countries, to respective people joining in. And happy Diwali to everyone. Have a rocking one. Have loads and loads of blast of crackers. Here I start with it. Good morning. Okay. So this is something that we are talking about dental photography. Dental photography, since we've already wasted around, I'm extremely sorry because of all the technical glitches that we've been facing, that I've been facing, and we've already wasted around 10, 15 minutes of precious time. So let me not get into all the details of how and when dental photography started. But it was way back in the earlier 19th century, somewhere around 1804 or something, that it started. And since then, we've come to this point that dental photography, what I believe, has become an integral part of our practices. So this is what I am, something on my insight on Delphi on this platform. Thank you so very much. Why is dental photography important? clinical applications of digital photography is, like, firstly, we have to achieve a good digital photograph. Standardization is most important, but because what we find is we have everyone clicking from mobiles, we have everyone clicking from DSLRs, we have everyone clicking from whatever is available with us, point and shoot cameras, mobile cameras, whatever is available with us. But the problem comes with all the photography, all the photos that we take is a standardization. Standardization in dentistry is a must because at, at a professional level, if we are not at the same platform, it's like it's a waste. I take a photograph from my mobile phone, and I don't know what the lens is all about. I don't know what the lighting is all about. I don't know what the white balance is all about. I don't know the exact color of the gingiva, exact color of the skin tone of the patient. I don't know the exact color of the tooth, and I just click it and I just send it to any and everyone. So that standardization, I mean, if I want to communicate it to my patient or if I want to communicate it to laboratory, that standardization is not there. Standardization, a good protocol should be a must. Then lighting and exposure should be absolutely same on each and every photograph or each and every patient. Uh, Aspect ratios, storage, and everything. That is like the most important part. So firstly, let's come back to the taking of a photograph when we take is either dark or it's light. So when we talk about it's all about exposure. So when we talk about exposure, it's like how bright a photograph is or how light a photograph is in a common language. So when we talk about photography, it's like exposure. How overexposed a photograph is when the photograph is too bright. It's like how over the photograph is, or how under the photograph is when it is dark in common language. So what does exposure determine? How or what all factors to contribute to the exposure? So in photography, exposure is the amount of light per unit area. So per unit area is like when we talk about the pixels, or when we talk about like, I mean, we are all now full of information jargon, so we talk about pixels. So it's like how much light per pixel uh, the sensor exposed to. So that is the exposure. So there are three things which determine the amount of light that reaches the sensor or the film is like the shutter speed, the aperture, and the luminescence. These are the three things. So let's come to the other slide. So what determines the exposure? Understanding the exposure means when we talk about these three things, the shutter speed, the aperture, and the luminescence. Luminescence, now, I think, Abhi, we can talk about luminescence in ISO way, because most of us are so much into digitization now, we understand what ISO means. So these three things that I would be expressing myself is shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO. So these are the three things that determine the exposure. So here's the exposure triangle. The exposure triangle is like constitutes of these three things: the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. So let's get into it. What is the aperture? It is nothing but the size of the hole that the camera opens up to. I think that's larger the opening, like I said, larger the opening, the more amount of light that goes into the sensor lying behind the aperture. So this is how we come to the aperture. The aperture size is inversely proportional to the f-stop. F-stop is something. Let's get back to the previous slide. The size of the opening is always measured by the f-stop. So when we talk about photography, I mean, whether we talk about any photography, whether we talk about general photography, whether we talk about any kind of photography, the aperture size is always referred to as f-stop. We never say that aperture size was this much or aperture size was that much. We always refer to it as f-stop. So f-stop is like the standard of defining the size of the aperture in wherever we talk about photography. So this is how we talk about the aperture size. This is something which is really, really complicated. Complicated in the sense we'll talk about it in a while. F-stop is something which we should be really, really targeting at because f-stop is something which is very, very important in aerial photography as well as general photography. So f-stop is complicated, like I said in my first statement, in the sense that f-stop in this slide of mine, it says that f-stop is inversely proportionate to the size that we determine. In the sense, if you look at the slide, the smallest the aperture, it says, yeah, if you look at it, the smallest the aperture, the largest value of f-stop. So when you look into your camera, there are three things. Let me come to my another slide. Probably let me get back to one of my other slides. So this is something probably this kind of something is that you see when you open up your camera and f-stop. So shutter speed is there, f-stop is there, and your ISO is there. These three things are there in the marking when you open up your screen of the camera or when you look into your eyepiece of the camera. So shutter speed, the f-stop, and the ISO. So shutters, the aperture is like I said, the amount of opening, the size of the opening of the lens. So smallest is the size, the higher the aperture. This is one thing, friends, which most of the people really get confused. I don't know about you guys. When I started photography, this was one point which I was really stuck at. Some of my mentors, some of my friends, they used to tell me, decrease the size of the f-stop, decrease the size of your aperture. I was like, what to do and what not to do. And then slowly and steadily, with practice, I came to realize that f-stop is nothing but the aperture size, which as the value increases, value of f increases. If you look at here, the value of f increases, right? The aperture size decreases. So that means I go up to f, say 32. The size of aperture is very less. And if I come up to say f 5.6, the size of the aperture is very high. So this is something which is really confusing for people now also. Many times it happens that I go and take a photograph, not here in industry, but I go outside and start taking a photograph, and there are few people, few friends accompany me. They say, "Yeah, but why don't we just decrease the stop?" I'm like, "But what to do now?" These are technical terms which slowly and steadily, which come with practice. So all we have to understand is like the lower f-stop value, the smaller is the hole size. The smaller is the hole size, the less is the amount of light that enters the sensor. The less amount of light enters the sensor. Let me get back to the exposure triangle. Let me get back to the exposure triangle. Let me get back to the exposure triangle, and it says the lesser the value of aperture, more is the opening, the more the value of the aperture, the lesser is the opening. So lesser is the opening, there's less of light entering the sensor. So that means micrograph is getting dark in normal terms, or it is getting underexposed. So, but then again, when we talk about dental photography, so dental photography has to be a balance between everything, because we have limited amount of space that we have to work upon, and we have to, since we are doing intro photography also, we have to have the depth of field. Depth of field in the sense, when we click anything which is intro, we have to have the sight of the last molars, or probably beyond that also. So for that, we need to keep the f-stop slightly on the higher side, which we will talk about in the coming slides. So for now, all we have to understand is that f-stop is inversely proportional to that. As you can see, aperture size is inversely proportionate to the f value. F value is something which in photography we talk about the aperture size. We don't say aperture is this or aperture value is that. We just say that f-stop is this and f-stop is that. F-stop is 2.8, or probably f-stop is 12, or f-stop is 5.6, or f-stop is 28 or 29. So, coming back to 5, what is the depth of field? I was just talking about that in intro photography. You go up to the last borders, you have to go up to sometimes even that. So depth of field is like the depth of field here is many exercise that we were talking about. So the lesser the f-stop value is, more the aperture is. Right? Like the 2.8, then the depth is three. So the f-stop, you have to the aperture, the size of the whole of the lens closes down, and hence we increase the depth of field, covering the rabbit also, and we are covering our subject also. So if we talk about this thing now, dental, so earlier in the case, it is covering probably the first or the second keyboard, but then we need to work with the and increase the size of to say what we are covering is covering the library, we are covering the subject, and we are
Uh,
covering our dental photography. We
sir,
are going.
Dr. Singh. Yes, sir. So your voice is getting stuck. I think network error maybe we are not able to understand like what you're saying. Voice is getting stuck in between. Roxanne, is there anything that we can do?
Sir, your laptop feed is gone, sir. Can you on your turn on your microphone from your laptop itself?
Sir, Dr. Singh. Um, sir, am I audible to you?
Yeah, you are.
I,
Am I audible to you?
okay. Yes, sir. Now it's fine. Earlier there was
I
some
know.
problem, like I was not able.
Sir, your laptop
Okay,
feed
so
is disconnected, sir.
my feed has disconnected. Just me a second now. I think, is it there now?
No, sir. You need to reload the link, sir. Can you go back to the browser?
Just give me a second. Yes.
That screen sharing is gone, so maybe there was a network fluctuation. Now it's
Oh,
okay.
yes. So that's fine.
No, sir, you need to reload the link, sir, in your browser.
I did that. I did that.
Then screen share, sir. No, sir, I didn't get your laptop feed yet. Only the mobile is up now.
You have to log in from the laptop also, sir, once again.
I did. I did. I'm just trying
Okay,
to do
okay.
that.
Maybe some network error.
Yeah, it's something. Is it visible now? No, I don't think so.
No, sir.
Mm, mm. I think probably everyone is on the internet celebrating Diwali. We have,
Yes, sir. It must be Diwali season, no? Everything like
yeah, everybody wishing any and
everyone
everyone
happy.
on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and on
Yes, sir.
I don't
Yes,
know.
sir.
Yeah, just that. I don't know. I'm just trying to get the feedback.
What is
I
this
think it's
next to you, sir? Is this a camera only?
yeah, all cameras. Yeah. Mhm.
Sir, just you can click on the same link, sir, or you just need to reload
Yeah,
the page.
yeah. Now I'm back. I think. Yes.
Yes, I got it. I got it.
You got it? Ah, okay. So now you get.
Yes, sir. We can see the screen.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And sorry once again
Sorry
for
for the
all the
disturbance, sir. Please go ahead.
sorry for all the disturbances that I am creating. So I don't know. Let's talk about the depth of field. We have already done that. I think so. Yes. So now let's understand the what the lenses say. Because I have so many people coming up to me and asking about, so which is the best camera, or which is the best lens, or which is the best company, or all sorts of inquiries that keep coming. But it's the basic that we have to have a very, we start from a very basic camera. But in my very first slide, what I mentioned was the standardization. So when we talk about the standardization of documentation, we have to have a certain standard which matches up to any and every standard of getting into a photograph or probably a documentation. So for that, we need to have lenses. Lens is the most important part of the entire scenario. No matter what kind of body we have earlier we used to shoot on film cameras. Now we're shooting on DSLRs. Now the next generation is mirrorless. Probably we have more things coming, but still, lens is something which is important part of photography, whether we talk about general photography or whether we talk about general photography. So what we have to understand is that limitations that we can click photographs in. So we have to have that particular standardization, which is set by international standards. So we have to have those particular lenses to uh, enhance our use of our equipment and to get the optimum result also. So for that, we have to understand that what is the kind of lens that we are looking to. So here's an insight about the of the lenses. When we talk about lens, it's like it's a very vague topic. Start from like we are clicking on wide angle, we are clicking on primes, we are clicking on this, we are clicking on. What we have to understand is that anything beyond mm, if you can see right here, it says 50 mm. So when we talk about lenses, we have two kind of lenses. Firstly, there are telephoto lenses or the zoom lenses. Secondly, there are prime lenses. So if we have two numbers on a lens, so like we say, a basic kit level lens that we get with any and every camera is 1855. So it has 18 mm and 55 mm. So it has two values, 18 mm and 55 mm. So that's a telephoto lens. Any lens with one number is a prime lens. So 50 mm, just one number. 500 mm, say 200 mm, 300 mm, with just one number, that's a prime lens. So what we have to have is the standard lens. As we talk about here, as the focal length increases, we keep on concentrating upon the subject. For landscape, we use a wider lens, but we need to see the entire landscape. But for the specific subject, we need to just concentrate upon the subject. So we keep on increasing the focal length and decreasing the exterior value. So like I have here 500 prime. So this is basically a telephoto lens. This is a prime lens which I use for wildlife and which I use for birding. So when I click with this lens, I just have a bird which is there as a subject. Rest of everything is blurred. As you can see, as the length keeps on increasing, the target area keeps on decreasing. In dental photography, we have to have the optimum of things, the target as well as the spread also. Why? Because we have to cover this aspect. We have to go more. So we have to have a balance between the focal length as well as the working length. The working length also has to be optimal. Why? Because it is we who are taking the subject or we who are taking the patient. So if I use this, I'll probably have to stand, say, somewhere on the 10, probably 20 feet away from the patient, which is just not possible. So, this is the thing which determines the exposure is the shutter speed. Shutter speed, as you can see here, the shutter speed is determined as we look at the camera is 1 upon 1000 such here, and it's like 1 by 2. So it's like the fraction of a second that we are talking about. This is 1/2 of a second. And this is 1/4 of a second. This is, as we keep on, this is 100th of a second. So we have to understand is the shutter speed is the speed of the aperture that closes and the speed with which it shuts down. So the quicker motions that we need to capture is with quicker shutter speed. And when we talk about quicker shutter speed, the amount of light traveling through the hole is less. Low shutter speed, the open closes. The high shutter speed closes, open. So the amount of light is like it decreases and increases. But then we have to capture the motion also. So if you do quick photography, like sports photography, in lower images, you can, a bird is very clearly captured in a very fast shutter speed. And if the same bird is captured in a slow shutter speed, the motion is blurred. But then again, we have to talk about the optimum shutter speed in dental photography. Because what happens is when we are doing dental photography, we have a camera here in our hand, we have the lens mounted, we have the flashes mounted, and plus we are dealing with the patient also. So what happens is mostly dental photography is a single hand photography. Most what I see people doing. Otherwise, we have to have an assistant who's going to put in the tractors, who's going to put in the mirrors and stuff. But usually, how it is, it's a single hand photography. And then you have a camera, along with that, heavy lenses attached, along with that, flashes attached, and then you, from the other hand, you also trying to manipulate the patient. It's a heavy affair, believe you me. So we need an optimization, like I said, we need an optimization in the ESA or in the choice of the lenses. We need to have an optimization in the shutter speed also. We have to have that kind of shutter speed which is not very fast, because then it will be underexposed. Inside we don't have light. We depend upon the flashes that we are using. But along with that, we are holding such heavy equipment, so it doesn't shake. So shutter speed also depends. Shutter speed also has to be high, so that the shape that we create is not recorded uh, immediately onto the sensor. So before the sensor got the already, so ISO is like ISO is a very common term which is used in everywhere in the national standard. ISO is nothing but the luminescence of the sensor, the amount of light that the sensor glows up to. So the only thing that we need to understand in digital photography is, or for that matter in any other photography, is that the lowest the ISO is, as you can have, the photograph is no doubt underexposed or dark, as we call in normal terms. But here you can see the ISO is 1600. The photograph is lit up. But if you look into the details, the lower picture, which is the kind of is noise, the picture becomes grainy in general terms. As you keep on increasing the ISO, the picture starts getting grainy, or you start finding it's like hazy in common terms. So again, the ISO has the lowest also in or in whatever photography that we talk about. So one more thing, like the slide says, like shutter speed is very important. ISO is very important. For really for any but ISO photography, the most important part is the white balance. And the gray part that you see in the slide. The white balance is the most difficult part than photography as actually because things are
beautiful noise, but let's see. If you open the screen, here's exactly tell you about things that have happened and things that are going to happen. All the things are available. The camera is that so if you join us very soon. And meanwhile, we have had sessions with the composite there have been two sessions almost on endo. I think sir is back. Yes, Dr. Ashutosh. Am I audible? Can you see the screen? So some network glitch going on. But yes, as I was telling you, there all the sessions are almost every session is there on YouTube as well as FB page of DRDECA. So you guys can check the sessions out if you have missed. There are 12 sessions that are, yes, almost. Okay, sir is here. So I should stop talking and hand over the stage to sir. Sir, am I audible? Okay, he's setting the camera and everything. So all the sessions are there on the FB page as well as YouTube of DRDCA. But once again, just seeing the sessions will not get you certificate. For that, you need to register yourself on the for the conference and on the app. The next sessions, evening sessions, as I said, are going to be about. We are going to talk about laser assisted endo treatment. It's an endo irrigation special session in the evening. And tomorrow we have a speaker speaking to us about composites. So, composite, as we know, restorative dentistry is the not just the need of the hour, but I guess restorative dentistry is something that we all strive to do best in, you know. And yes, once you take restorations in consideration, that you need photography also to capture it. So everything goes hand in hand. Dentistry, I guess, overall is a multidisciplinary field, and not just one dentist cannot take care, one specialist cannot take care of everything. But yes, having said that, composite is something that, you know, we as clinicians we strive to do our best in. We want to do our best in, but we are learners first. And tomorrow we have some amazing speakers: Dr. Rumpa Vig, Dr. Preeti Lamba, Dr. Chandra Molly, Dr. Madhu, Dr. Smita Cole. In fact, all of them are from India. So Indian female speakers are going to lead tomorrow and give a composite mega session. And I'm so looking forward to this. Dr. Rumpa Vig has been kind enough to introduce, to, you know, give us this, not give us, but give you guys an opportunity to win a prize, and sponsored by Pulp Dent. What you need to do is attend Dr. Rumpa's session, which is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Answer few questions after the session. Yes, you have to answer the questions, and the lucky one will get the prize. So I wish I could participate, but maybe I will not be, you know, eligible one. But yes, you guys can do it tomorrow 11. Today is Diwali. Lot of network errors, lot of network jams are happening all over the I think all over India, and there's a lot of noise also that you can hear in my background, because yes, everybody's on street going. In fact, if this conference would not have been there, I would also have been out purchasing something or other. But till the time we are here, I think this is also one of the. I'm going to remember this Diwali honestly. Because this is a COVID session, COVID times, you're having this virtual conference where so many people, so many speakers are joining us from all over the world. And virtual learning will always have this glitch, you know, somewhere digital error, somewhere some network problem, and then you just cannot connect, right? So that is COVID is here to teach us something. So this is something that we are going to learn, and virtual learning is here to stay. So no worries about that. Virtual learning is one thing, and the second thing is that this is the first time that on Diwali I am, you know, talking about dentistry. And to be honest, talking about endo makes me feel good. Sir is here. So I think he's joined with lab. Sir, am I audible to you?
Give me another thing.
I think this session is going to, you know, teach all of us a lot of things. Plus network error. Oh my god. Okay. So there is some network issue. But it's okay. है अंधेरी रात को दिवा जलाना कब मैंने तो भी हो जाएगा ठीक. Roxanne, there's some buzzer thing that is going on.
Just a minute.
Are we set?
Just a minute.
Okay. So guys, as I just said, है अंधेरी रात को दिवा जलाना कब मनाएं. So अगर आपको, if you really like these lines, you can actually go and visit Google and see Harivansh Rai Bachchan's poetry. So these are his lines. So yeah, when I don't know what to say, no, I start saying poetry. That is the something with I think I'm blessed with because कुछ नहीं आता तो कुछ है कहने को. If you don't know something, you have something to say. That is something that poetry has given me, and spoken word has given me. So yeah, DRDC has given me this opportunity to interact with you guys and show that I am a dentist, I'm an endo, but I have one more side to me, and that is that I can recite, I can say some poetries. Sometimes you miss the live interaction, because when live interaction happens, no, you can ask audience, okay, you want to listen to some poetry, then audience will say yes, yes, we would like to listen to some poetry, and then you can, recite something. It's a little difficult over here, and especially with the network issues. Though I have the screen to myself, I have time to be myself, I can actually recite a lot of things, but I don't have my diary, to be honest. But yes, Diwali spirit is all over the place. You can listen to the honking that is going on behind my, in the background. So I think I'm going to leave you guys with some videos of the conference. Let me see if you guys, as I said once again, let me reinforce the fact that tomorrow is a composite mega session. Okay. Composite mega session. Meanwhile, no, by side, what is happening is I'm getting updates, like whether sir's network is back or not. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to be the mediator and tell you everything. So yeah, hopefully he's back. Or hopefully the network, we have got the network connection. So stay tuned, guys. Stay there, be here, and in the end, I'm going to recite something special for you guys for being so patient and listening all the way. And as I said, tomorrow is composite mega session. Now, what is going on is dental photography. Dr. Ashutosh is there with us on board. There's some network error, some technical glitch which we are facing, because obviously we are humans and we are dealing with machines. So error is bound to happen. So considering all those things in mind and giving Dr. Singh's little more time, let me see if he's back. Dr. Roxon is going to tell me in the message if he is there or not. And meanwhile, as I said, tomorrow is composite mega session. Composite is something that actually I also want to learn, because at present I feel that I am not very good. Obviously, I don't do negative pressure irrigation, honestly. So I am learning to be a very good endodontist, but composite is something that I actually need to work on a lot, because what happens is you can give a restoration, but to make that restoration look like really real, it takes effort, it takes a lot of, and patient will never know. Patient will be just like, it's done, it's not done, okay, restoration, maybe that's why. But you need to be honest with your art, I think, because dentist, as a dentist also, I think especially when we deal with aesthetics, we are an artist. Yesterday we had an implant session also, right? Where they discussed about how the perio, how the surrounding areas of gingiva, surrounding areas of the PDL should look, surrounding areas of implant should be, the structure and the tissue that is there. So we are artists and nothing else. So yeah, being a dentist, being an artist, being a spoken word artist, I think I'm blessed with all these things together. Everything is there in my kitty. So we are waiting for Dr. Singh to join back, and till then, what to do, guys? Should I recite something? Yes, I guess. Okay, now an overview of DRDC only. There we'll play some videos in meanwhile.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
My beautiful journey in this science started as early as 2006. I remember I was treating a 40-day-old baby and I had to take a laser unit on rent for 350 rupees from an ophthalmologist in my small town. It is that day that I realized that majority of the Indian dentists do not know how to use a laser, primarily because they cannot own one, they cannot afford one. I find Ratan Tata's work and life so very inspiring. He was the one who made us believe that as Indians we can do great on the international scene. He was the one who made me believe that poverty is not a handicap, but a poor mindset definitely is. He was the one who made the dream of every Indian to own a car possible. Similarly, Novoles, which was actually conceptualized and born as early as 2006, wants to make laser dentistry affordable to every Indian dentist. So with Novoles, we can proudly say that laser dentistry is no longer expensive, but the ignorance about its possibilities and what it can do for majority of the doctors and dentists who use it, and for the majority of the patients on whom it will be used, that we are trying to reduce the cost of that ignorance and make it very affordable. People call me an entrepreneur, people call me a laserpreneur, but I want to call myself a peoplepreneur because I work for the people. Novoles as a brand
So that was Novoles. I'm really sorry. I was just blabbering out and there was a mute. The mic was muted. But yes, my apologies. And Dr. Singh is back with us. And now he's going to carry on with his presentation. I'm really sorry, sir. Apologies, network errors and everything.
Yeah, it's like the Diwali this thing is very caught up, I think.
Right.
Are you getting my feed?
I asked Roxanne. Sir, Roxanne, are you getting sir's feed? The laptop's feed?
Share screen, sir. You didn't share your screen yet.
Are you getting the feed?
No, sir, not yet, sir. Share your laptop screen, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You need to share your screen, sir.
So third button from down. Yeah.
Oh, that's there. You getting my feed or not? Can you hear me?
Yes,
that
we can hear you. You are audible.
I'm audible to you, right?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Very much audible.
I think there's some echo.
It's sounding fine to us, sir. No echo as such. I think, but
Fine.
you can be a little louder. That's it. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, I'll just try. Although I have a very sore.
No, sir.
I don't know. I was right here on the last slide, which I was talking about the white balance and the pay card. So
yes.
This is
We were
something which
talking
is
about.
this is something which is of the most important to us as dentists. Is that why? Because we need to communicate the exact shape to the patient, to the laboratory, to whatever work that we're doing. We need to have the exact shape. So for us, the white balance or the gray card is probably our most important. Gray card, I don't think so, is used extensively by any other people in photography, excepting to just calibrate their white balance. But for us, a gray card is an integral part. Why? Because we need calibrate our white balance, as well as we need to have the grad while we are taking the shades of the picture. So this is something which am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. We
Yeah.
can hear you.
So gray card is something which is of the utmost important to us as dentists. Plus the white balance also, because white balance is something which is which affects the shape. There's a standard of 5200 Kelvin as the sunlight white balance. If you go below that, we go below 5200, we go on a bluer shade. If we go beyond 5200, that goes on the slightly on the red side. So we don't get the exact shade of the tooth. We don't get the exact translucency of the teeth. We don't get the exact whatever we are looking at. So white balance in gray card is of the utmost important. That is what I personally believe. So now let's come to the equipment that we require for it. Lots of people have this controversy about which brand is the best. I feel is whatever suits me or whatever suits you guys, that brand is of the most importance, or for that matter, that brand is the best. Be it Nikon, be it Canon, be it Sony, be it any brand. If it solves my purpose, if I'm comfortable with my equipment, that is the best equipment. Lens is something in my earlier slide also I talked about this. We have to have a standardization. That's why in industry we cannot go beyond say we have an optimization of 85 mm prime from 85 mm prime lens to 105 mm of prime numbers. So we cannot go beyond 85 mm to 105 mm as far as documentation is concerned. So and there are companies. Nikon is manufacturing 85, 105. We have Canon, which is manufacturing 100 mm. We have Tamron and Sigma, which is manufacturing 90 mm prime, which is manufacturing 100 mm prime. So any good company lens which is from 85 mm to 105 mm is standardized for our purpose in general. One thing which we really need to be careful about before buying anything third party or anything for that matter, lenses or anything third parties, we need to check with the camera that we bought whether that is compatible with the third party products or not. So otherwise, you can definitely go ahead and buy any lenses from Nikon, from Canon, from Tamron, from Sigma. So next is what is the kind of flash that we look for, and we need to have specific flashes as penetrate right and internal cavity. So we get a clear picture. So that is why we need to have these kind of specific flashes which are there for, and then we I mean I put lights or static parts and I also use to show that, and the lights and the studio lights are manufactured by Photographs, by Young, by Home, and the ray flashes and the flashes. Again, like I said in the lenses, we need to be a little buying either the camera or these two flashes, the twin flash or the ring flash. Is many times the cameras are not compatible. So be careful before buying either the camera or if you already have a camera, you need to be careful before buying these flashes whether they are compatible with our equipment or not. So these things are there. Then the basic, very integral part of photography are basic contrasters And obviously, I've displayed here the gray. Keep on emphasizing for the gray card because shades for us are the utmost importance. Because modern dentistry, what we are looking at, obviously the conventional part of the dentistry or the functionality dentistry is still there. We need to have that kind of strength. We need to have that kind of, we need to have all those kinds that were already. But in modern dentistry, the integral part has become the aesthetics. So, for aesthetics, we need to have a very clear defining of stage. We need to have very clear cut defining of whatever we are using as those spaces. So, for that, for matching those shades, the gray card is of integral importance. The white balance is of integral importance. The equipment, the standardized equipment we are using for is utmost important. Because what I feel is, in my practice, what I had seen and what I had been practicing. Earlier, before I started dental photography, I used to record it in my mind or probably write the shape down somewhere on a piece of paper and put it down with the prosthesis over to the lab. So what happens is what I see on a patient on a chair lab, or probably I see on a patient in the clinic is different from what exactly the hue or the chroma exactly is, and what exactly I am conveying to the lab is entirely because what shade I pick up is from the shade that I have. What I have written on the piece of paper or on the note or whatever I give a clinic is what I have at my clinic, what shade guide I have. But when it reaches the laboratory guys has probably got a different shade guide. And when he matches A2 with my A2, they are different. So a photograph with a proper shade selection definitely helps both of us in identifying what exactly is the process. So that's it. So ideal camera settings for intraoral photography or for extraoral photography for documentation and then photography. Very simple. The shutter speed I was talking about earlier, it has to be on the optimum, not very high, not very low. The exact exposure, the exact amount of light will be there. Because and the vibration shape also should be avoided. So the shutter speed should be anything between 1 by 125 of a second to 1 by 160 of a second. The aperture, like my slide says, it's like from f12 to f29. This again depends. All these settings depend on how you use it or probably the equipment you're using. But these are basically the runs of the settings that can be used in any camera. So f12 to f29 is a standardization from external photography to intraoral. External photography requires, so that's why the aperture, the less aperture is the thing, and the aperture increases. Why? Because as we go towards f29, so we need the aperture to close a lot. Why? Because as we go intraoral, we need to go to molar areas of something beyond molar areas. So we require that kind of. So that's why the f-stop differs from 1240. Again, it depends upon how you use it. And ISO is standard to be 100. Why? Because we don't want much poison of yeah. So this is around about the kind of settings that is required in any or every camera and every flashes, lenses, and every setup use it. So this is a general view of setting external and internal documentation. So one thing, the slide is like what should be. I'm sorry, I'm really rushing into things. Guys, are you okay? Because I think I've already spoiled quite a lot of time. Hey, do you guys hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you, sir. Perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
so I'm sorry for just rushing into things because I've already spoiled
No, not an issue, sir. Not an issue. Please
So,
carry on.
basic things that we really need to be careful about in this life. And this is something which photographers, camera photographers, any photographer, they don't come with their mistakes. But this is one photograph which I played very early when I started my implementation. This I would like to present it to you guys as as something which you should always be careful about, what not to do while looking at photograph. So this is, I mean, the patient was not looking directly at me. The second was the horizontal and the vertical patient was absent. Third, completely. The background was gray, it was not, and that is required for photography. And the ears were not showing, which is protocol required for documentation. Various other aspects which are there in the photograph, which again I would like to skip the slide. But these are some things which one should be very careful while clicking a photograph in your clinic while documenting your patients. So next is, I mean, enough documentation. Enough of documentation. I like to go out to other spheres also, and one of the most interesting sphere for me is tabletop. This is something which I really am. Worst part about my tabletop is Estonia. So mostly what happens is I get a very little time from people to come up with spaces so that I can just play it and then it is delivered to patients. So that creativity is really like it's really constrained. So this is one of the photographs which I clicked, which I probably got probably 2 hours. I had 2 hours of time taking this process and delivering it back to the patient. So I was completely dumbfounded how to go about it, how to bring out the beauty of the processes. So I was just wandering outside my clinic and I saw this beautiful plant. I picked out those petals and I picked these processes on those petals. So this is how they came out. So this is something which is there to bring out the creativity when I am like not really having time. This is another one of things which I really didn't have time. This is one process again I had to deliver within 10 minutes. And the processes came in and the patient was really sitting on a chair and I had to process, I didn't have time. So I sent my one of the guys alternatively sent out to get some gold and the silver dust which are used for various art and craft work. So I just sprinkled some gold dust on this on the these processes, and this is how they came out. And these are a few of my picks. I really love to wander outside. I'm a wildlife photographer, birder also. So I love taking outside trainings also. This is something, I mean, documentation over the period of time, it gets me really bugged. So just to get out of my clinic, just to get out of my practice, I love to go out in the nature, explore it, and take birds, make wildlife, make nature. So this is these are a few of my picks recently, which have been appreciated by a few photography groups. So let me not extend my lecture anymore. Just thank you guys, and we just ended abruptly. Joining me quite a lot of on this Diwali, and thank you DRDCA for having me here on this beautiful platform with such great speakers, with such beautiful people out here, with such beautiful audience. Thank you so very much. Have a beautiful Diwali.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you for bearing with us. And I think sometimes
Rather, thank you for bearing with me because my connectivity has been really, really bad. So thank
No,
you.
sir, network. I think network is to be blamed.
Really, I'm so very sorry. I'm so
You
very
have
sorry
done the
for
job very nicely. Thank you so much with
and,
sharing. We talk about all aspects of dentistry, but I feel if dental photography was not there, not being, sitting here and talking about these things, because uh, till you see it, you can't actually realize how beautiful dentistry is, how beautiful that tooth anatomy, all the features are. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge about dental photography. Because
thank you so very
I
much.
know I know of many friends who are actually interested. In fact, there was this one point of time where I wanted to go into this, but then once again I'll start. And so let me know, because there were one or two people or questions also asking how to get to know more about this, because I understand today was a lot of disturbance in the session, so there might be few people who will listen to this and would like to connect with you, or maybe learn more about photography. So is there anything that you would like to suggest? Is there any web whatever?
Just give me a sec. Again, some technical glitches. Just let me get back to it. There's
This E-Smile Dental Academy, sir. The background also of your.
yes. This is where I am here. This is one of my dream projects. This is where I'm
Oh,
really there at right now. So we are designing smiles. We are recreating smiles. So so guys, can you share? Can you see my screen right here right now?
it was visible, sir. Now it is not visible.
Is it now?
Yes, sir. It's visible. Visible, sir. Visible.
So these are all my contact details. You can find me on Facebook. You can find my ID on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. You can find Instagram. You have my WhatsApp and calling number here. You have my email IDs. You have my Twitter account. You have my URL numbers. Anytime you guys want to inquire anything about dental photography, you guys are most welcome. Just don't worry about the time. Just don't worry about anything. You can call me anytime. You guys are most welcome for inquiring whatever you feel like asking. Please go ahead if you like my page, like my Instagram account. You check out whatever I post. There are all mixed bag on my both the accounts on my Facebook also as well. Also, there there's dentistry, there's wildlife, there's birds, there's everything. I just post whatever I feel like it. So that's there. And you guys are most welcome to call me anytime.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Ashutosh Singh photos. I'm going to follow it just straight away Instagram, because it will be good to see not just teeth but other photographs also. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. And it was an honor to have you here, irrespective of whatever technical glitches and network errors that happened. But I'm super glad that we connected. Thank you so much, sir.
Please forgive
Have
me
a
once again. Please forgive me
nice
once again,
Diwali to
guys.
you and your
Please,
family, sir.
please forgive
Have a
me once
nice
again,
day.
guys, and happy Diwali to you. Next time,
Happy Diwali.
probably when we connect, I hope this kind of glitches.
We are going to connect soon, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you,
Happy
sir.
Diwali once again. Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to you, sir. Thank you. So that was Dr. Ashutosh Singh with us, and I am super honored that being a speaker also, and digital virtual learning is something. It's not very old also, but it's not super. I will say it's not super new, but still, there's nothing like interacting live with the audience. I'm saying that as a speaker. I'm saying that as a poet, as a performer who has performed on stage. So yeah, digital learning has its pros and cons too. So I'm waiting for this COVID times to go, and then we can actually meet in real time. I can meet with all these speakers, amazing speakers that I am listening to virtually. Thank you so much to Dr. Ashutosh Singh, as well as Dr. Walid, Dr. Wail Said Sadiq, and you can listen to the both the sessions. They are available on YouTube and Facebook also. And if you're not registered, please register. Download the Eventi app and register for DRDCA 2020 International. Apologies that there's a lot of noise in my background because of obviously it's Diwali. Everybody's getting up at home. But I'm going to see you again at 4 because there are two amazing speakers who are there with us. It is an in endo irrigation special. We have Dr. Martha joining us from Poland and Dr. Umesh joining us from Malaysia. And we are going to speak about lasers in irrigation, endo irrigation. Basically, we are going to discuss. Is there any option besides sodium hypochlorite? The question that I asked Dr. Weil also. So yes, we are going to discuss all those things. I am Pallavi, Dr. Pallavi Mahajan, and now I'll be signing off with a few lines that are dedicated to, I think, Dr. Ashutosh and Dr. Weil. Both of them, the dreamers, the people who are passionate about what they do. जहाँ जाते हैं सब जाना वहाँ अच्छा नहीं लगता. ये जावेद अख्तर साहब की लाइंस हैं, and the lines mean that where everyone is going, I don't like going that way. I would rather make my own way and travel. So जहाँ जाते हैं सब जाना वहाँ अच्छा नहीं लगता. मुझे पामाल रस्तों का सफर अच्छा नहीं लगता. On that note, I'm going to take your leave, guys. Do register, download the Eventi app, and I'll see you at 4 sharp. Happy Diwali, happy Children's Day. Bye-bye.
Audio